Welcome to our exploration of the labor supply curve. Today we'll break down what the labor supply curve is, why it matters, and how it shapes the workforce in any economy. Understanding this concept is crucial for anyone interested in economics, business, or employment trends. We'll start by defining labor supply and then move into the factors that influence it. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear grasp of how the labor supply curve works and why it's a foundational concept in labor economics. Labor supply refers to the total hours that workers are willing and able to work at different wage levels. It's a fundamental concept in economics because it helps us understand how many people are available for work and at what price. The labor supply curve visually represents this relationship, showing how the number of workers changes as wages rise or fall. This curve is typically upward sloping, meaning higher wages attract more workers. Let's dive deeper into why this happens and what it means for employers and employees. Labor supply curve is generally upward sloping. This means that as wages increase, more people are willing to work or existing workers are willing to work more hours. The curve shape reflects the basic economic principle that higher pay motivates greater participation in the workforce. However, the curve can bend or flatten depending on various factors, such as changes in preferences, demographics, or government policy. Understanding the shape of the curve helps economists predict labor market responses to wage changes. Wages play a central role in worker decisions. When wages rise, people are more likely to join the workforce or increase their hours. Conversely, lower wages may discourage participation. This relationship is at the heart of the labor supply curve. Employers must understand this dynamic to set competitive wages and attract talent. Workers, on the other hand, weigh wage offers against their personal needs, skills, and available opportunities. This ongoing negotiation shapes the labor market. Two important concepts affect the labor supply curve: the income effect and the substitution effect. The income effect occurs when higher wages allow workers to afford more leisure, possibly reducing their work hours. The substitution effect happens when higher wages make work more attractive compared to leisure, encouraging more hours worked. The balance between these effects determines the overall shape and direction of the labor supply curve. Economists study these effects to understand worker behavior. Many factors influence labor supply, including demographics, education skills, and government policies. For example, an aging population may reduce labor supply, while increased access to education can expand it. Immigration, childcare availability, and tax policies also play a role. Understanding these influences helps policymakers and businesses anticipate changes in the labor market and plan accordingly. Each factor can shift the labor supply curve, affecting wages and employment levels. Demographic shifts, such as population aging or youth entering the workforce, significantly impact labor supply. An older population may mean fewer workers, while a younger, growing population can increase labor supply. These changes affect the overall economy, influencing wage levels and employment rates. Businesses and governments must monitor demographic trends to make informed decisions about hiring, training, and policy development. Education and skill development are crucial for expanding labor supply. Higher levels of education and specialized skills make workers more employable and increase their earning potential. This, in turn, can shift the labor supply curve outward, meaning more people are willing to work at higher wages. Investing in education benefits both individuals and the broader economy by creating a more capable workforce. Government policies, such as minimum wage laws, tax incentives, and welfare programs, can influence labor supply. For instance, raising the minimum wage may encourage more people to work, while generous welfare benefits might reduce labor participation. Policymakers must carefully balance these factors to ensure a healthy labor market. The effects of policy changes are often reflected in shifts in the labor supply curve. Migration is another key factor influencing labor supply. When people move to a country for work, they increase the available workforce. This can help fill labor shortages and boost economic growth. However, immigration also presents challenges, such as integration and competition for jobs. The impact of immigration on the labor supply curve depends on the skills and demographics of incoming workers. Access to affordable childcare can significantly affect labor supply, especially for parents. When childcare is available, more parents, particularly mothers, can join the workforce. This increases labor participation and shifts the supply curve outward. Businesses and policymakers recognize the importance of childcare in supporting a robust labor market. Tax policies can either encourage or discourage labor supply. Lower taxes on income may motivate people to work more, while higher taxes can reduce incentives. The labor supply curve responds to these changes, reflecting shifts in worker behavior. Governments must consider the impact of tax policy when designing labor market regulations. Workers constantly balance their desire for leisure with the need to earn income. The labor supply curve captures this trade-off. As wages rise, the opportunity cost of leisure increases, making work more attractive. However, at very high wages, some workers may choose more leisure, leading to a backward-bending supply curve. This dynamic is central to understanding labor market behavior. Labor supply curve can bend backward at high wage levels. This means that, beyond a certain point, higher wages lead to fewer hours worked as people opt for more leisure. This phenomenon is observed in some professions and among highly paid workers. Understanding the backward-bending curve helps economists predict labor market responses to wage increases. Labor supply varies across different sectors of the economy. For example, the supply of workers in healthcare may differ from that in technology or manufacturing. Each sector has unique wage levels, working conditions, and skill requirements. These differences shape the labor supply curve for each industry, influencing hiring and employment trends. Strong labor supply is essential for economic growth. When more people are willing and able to work, businesses can expand, productivity rises, and the economy flourishes. Conversely, a shrinking labor supply can slow growth and create challenges for employers. Policymakers focus on maintaining a healthy labor supply to support long-term prosperity. Labor supply is closely linked to unemployment rates. When labor supply exceeds demand, unemployment rises. Conversely, when demand outpaces supply, wages may increase and unemployment falls. Understanding this relationship helps economists and policymakers address job shortages and surpluses in the labor market. Changes in labor supply can influence inflation. When labor supply is tight, wages may rise, leading to higher costs for businesses and potentially increased prices for goods and services. Conversely, an abundant labor supply can keep wages and prices stable. Monitoring labor supply helps economists predict inflation trends. Labor supply also affects productivity. A larger skilled workforce can boost productivity, leading to economic growth and higher living standards. Conversely, shortages of skilled labor can limit productivity and slow progress. Investing in education and training is key to maintaining a productive labor supply. Labor supply can influence wage inequality. When supply is high in certain sectors, wages may be lower, while shortages can drive wages up. Education, skills, and experience also play a role in wage differences. Addressing wage inequality requires understanding labor supply dynamics and promoting equal opportunities. Technology can reshape labor supply by automating tasks and creating new job opportunities. Automation may reduce demand for certain jobs, while technological advances can increase demand for skilled workers. The labor supply curve adjusts as workers acquire new skills and adapt to changing job requirements. Remote work has transformed labor supply by allowing people to work from anywhere. This flexibility can increase labor participation, especially among those who previously faced barriers to employment. Businesses benefit from a wider talent pool and workers enjoy greater work-life balance. The labor supply curve reflects these changes in modern employment. Gender dynamics play a role in labor supply. Historically, women's participation in the workforce has increased, shifting the labor supply curve. Policies supporting gender equality, such as parental leave and anti-discrimination laws, further boost labor supply. Understanding gender trends helps create inclusive labor markets. Age is another important factor in labor supply. Younger workers may be more willing to work longer hours, while older workers may prefer part-time or flexible arrangements. Retirement trends and life expectancy also influence labor supply. Businesses must adapt to the changing age profile of the workforce. Health status can impact labor supply. Healthy workers are more likely to participate fully in the workforce, while health issues may reduce labor supply. Investments in healthcare and workplace safety support a strong labor supply and improve productivity. Family structure, such as single-parent households or dual-income families, affects labor supply. Single parents may face barriers to employment, while dual-income families can increase labor participation. Policies supporting family needs like flexible hours and parental leave help maximize labor supply. Social trends, such as changing attitudes toward work and leisure, influence labor supply. For example, a cultural shift toward valuing work-life balance may reduce labor participation. Understanding these trends helps businesses and policymakers anticipate changes in the labor market. Economic shocks such as recessions or pandemics can dramatically affect labor supply. During downturns, participation may fall as jobs are lost. Recovery periods can see labor supply rebound as opportunities return. Monitoring labor supply during economic shocks is vital for effective policy responses. Globalization connects labor markets across countries. International trade and outsourcing can shift labor supply, creating new opportunities and challenges. Workers may compete globally and businesses can access talent worldwide. The labor supply curve reflects these global dynamics. Summary: the labor supply curve is a vital concept in economics, capturing the relationship between wages and workforce participation. Many factors influence labor supply, including demographics, education policies, and social trends. Understanding these dynamics helps businesses, policymakers, and workers navigate the labor market. By mastering the labor supply curve, you gain valuable insights into employment, wages, and economic growth.